Yo, I should add myself to my own show. We are here. We do this live every Thursday, Wednesday. I was going to move to Wednesday, and then Thursday needed to be it, and here we are. Hi, everybody. It's the Blathering Live. I'm Ken Knapsack. This is both a live YouTube show. You might be listening later on the audio feed. And about that audio feed, I've added a new show, a show called The Monday Morning Show. Me sitting down, just kind of getting ready for the week, maybe taking you through what could be your week, or at least my week. It's also a video for channel members here on YouTube. So you can become a channel member here and get the link to call into the show, but also get that show and see my face on a Monday morning. We got Anytime with Ken and Alden also on that feed right now, because on its own feed, we weren't plugging it. We weren't using it to the best of our ability. But if you like that show in audio form, take it with you. Go over there. We have got some calls already lined up. Addie is in here. She says, love this week's Monday morning show. Thank you for loving it. Laserbolts here says, hey all. Jared, the TIE pilot. Hello there. Hello there. Scotty J-Ro coming in here saying Steely Dan is the best. And I'm glad as Scotty sits there probably getting ready for his own show tonight that he's weighed in on this. 9 votes are in right now for the question of the night on the survey. Favorite yacht rock artist. Is it Steely Dan? Is it Toto? Is it Christopher Cross? Kenny Loggins? There's other choices, and we can discuss it here tonight in chat. I thought about this too late. I was going to have he might be getting in there. I'm trying to see here back. Josh McCouga might be calling in. He, of course, is the yacht rock god. He's probably the person that got me looking at yacht rock a little differently than before. But also, I'm going to try to get in another yacht rock guest here as I produce my own show on the fly. That is what we do around these parts. One of the things I want to talk about this week is how I just don't think we're all... I don't think we can process what happens in our world at all in any shape or form or time. This week alone, it's become a hack joke what a long year this week has been. But just in the news and paying attention or things that come your way, it's so much. And the thing is, I don't think this is new. I don't. I'm not a great philosopher or a prophet from ages gone by on that statement. It's kind of like, yeah, well, duh. But we just, if a CEO of a major health insurance company was gunned down in cold, premeditated blood, we wouldn't really know about it to the evening news. We wouldn't really know more about it to the newspaper the next morning and maybe a week later on 2020. And just conversations heard around the office. Now we know everything within minutes. And I'm not here to talk about that situation. I think we're going to do that anytime with Ken and Alden tomorrow. Layered isn't even the word. Layered isn't even the word. But like that, an earthquake today in Northern California, which was not abnormal, but it had a tsunami warning attached to it. Not tremendously normal. It was okay. That Biden pardoning his son on Sunday, something I agree with in general of, sure, pardon everybody. Let's just do it. We're fighting a war. We'll try to win it. And I sat down to try to record tonight. And then stuff going on in Syria, ongoing wars, everything. And I was like, maybe what should I address tonight? What should I address tonight? I was like, you know what? I think I just want to address football and Toto. And I put something on Blue Sky today of, I'm much more active on Blue Sky than I have been on social media for the last 5 years on any platform, other than posting podcasts and that kind of stuff. And I'm having fun doing some motivation videos, some shorts and reels and TikToks. And that's been fun. But there's this thing of like, you have about if you're conscious, you have about 5 conscientious and conscious. You have about 5 minutes to post an advert for your podcast, your silly, trite little podcast. 5 minutes to get away from whatever horrific news was last hour, and 5 minutes before the horrific news that's going to come in this hour. And I used to be in fact, one of the reasons I started to shut down social media for me was I just, in the face of everything going on, because I was more plugged in and paying attention, I just felt weird going, and here's a Star Wars podcast. But I need to eat. Daddy needs to eat. This is my line of work. And with the horrors going on in the world, if you're a grocery store checkout clerk, you still have to go into work, right? You don't. But this is my work, and I still record. And if no one knows about it, no one hangs out, no one pays attention. And so now I'm in this like, hey, we're all just trying to survive. And I guess maybe what I'm saying is I used to judge people for it in the past. I used to see things on Twitter that, I'm not talking about like people who, the second plane hit the tower and they post, come to my garage sale. I'm just saying like something happens in an hour, a shooting somewhere, and within 30 minutes, they're still like, here's my pancakes. I used to judge. I guess I used to judge people. But after this week, I've decided, no, that's long gone. You can't. We are all just trying to get along. If the proverbial second plane hits the tower, and I know we didn't have social media like we did in 2001. I'm just saying, if the modern day equivalent of that happens, and you want to post your pancakes, I think that's how you're surviving. I think that's a shelter in place thing. I just think. I don't know. All right. I got a couple calls I want to get to right away, but we're going to do this. One of the things I wanted to talk about tonight is yacht rock. And I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I know these two people have not met. This is what's fantastic. I'm going to bring two people on in one segment. The first person got me not into yacht rock, but got me to not look down my nose at it. And that is Josh Makuga. Hey. Josh Makuga, how are you?
Oh, man.
Good, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. There is life before yacht rock and there's life after yacht rock. And when we were of a certain age, we had something called VH1 Behind the Music. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And really and truly, those VH1 Behind the Music created it created memories that like core memories in my being that I'll never forget. Like
your soul.
The Fleetwood Mac Behind the Music, the Motley Crue Behind the Music.
Right.
I wish that, I'm sure they do. JTE probably finds them in a bargain bin, but VH1 has to have like a DVD of all the Behind the Music.
We got to release them. The Mamas and the Papas one, the Milli Vanilli one.
Oh, the Milli Vanilli one was incredible. Yes.
So I watched the Yacht Rock, a documentary this week, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. I couldn't discuss it without Josh, but Josh, and you're welcome to stay here for a bit. But I know this next guest has a live show soon. But you've never met him, Josh. Okay, his name is Scotty J. Rowe. He's from Louisiana. He's a teacher, but he's a musician. He's a Star Wars host of a podcast called the Bombad Cast, and he is a giant yacht rock fan as well.
Yep,
Scotty,
guaranteed.
The captain.
He looks
Josh
like
Makuga.
Look at him.
Dude. Josh, nice to meet you, man. Happy to have you here.
Oh man. I just did a live TV talk. Me and David just stopped. And David is not a yacht rock fan, but I watched the yacht rock documentary. I texted Ken immediately, and then I watched it again, and I've watched it a third time since it's been released. Because it just brings me so much happiness. Really,
I'm gonna have to smoke and watch it because my wife's going out of town this weekend. I'm actually beyond thrilled because I was gonna show you. Hold on, this is one image I can show you real quick. So yacht rock, for me, I don't know if they have like I need to watch documentary, but I don't know if they go into it. But do they have like a start date when that term started to get used?
Well, so
yeah.
Ken can tell you. They start talking about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. They talk about it. It's one of the only genres of music that was named well after the dominance of the genre. Though right. Fred Armisen points out, I'd say yacht rock and classical music have the same thing. That his joke being Beethoven and Bach never said, "Oh, we're classical musicians." They were just musicians. So they do start. They start with that YouTube, that web series, and all that kind of stuff, and then work back.
Steely Dan moment, Ken.
Oh no! I just got.
I know what it is. I know it's Donald Fagen, the phone call. Yeah. I saw it and I laughed my ass off. It was amazing. So good. Is there a date? Did they say?
I can't. Yeah, mid 2000s, right? It's the web series.
2005, right? 2004, 2005, something like that.
Okay, yeah. It didn't. So I was in college when it broke our cultural zeitgeist. So like 2015, 2016, it broke through. And so in 2017, I had like fully became into the yacht rock like fascination. And I knew, even as like a college, I was 22, I knew it was just smooth rock, or it was just like, soft rock, really. It wasn't anything other than, or fusion. Like it became this weird idea of like, this is yacht rock. and it's like sensual and it's sexualized. And it's like we can only listen to this while we're on our Bajas, just like I don't know. I'm just happy that this documentary has came out and addressed things that are more about the musicality of it. Right.
It is. And I'll pitch it to Josh here, but like you mentioned Fleetwood Mac, which they talk about not being yacht rock. And there's that great website, Yacht or Not, which I want to spend more time on, Josh. But in my rock radio days, I looked down on Fleetwood Mac at the beginning of it. And then it was that Behind the Music that came out and introduced me. I was 21 years old at the time. Rumors was almost, I think it was one was out. I was like, oh, what is this? I'm now in love with this. The dance comes out and you rediscover it. Because of that, I think I'd look down on yacht rock. Josh and I are friends with Mark Ellis, who, let's be honest, is a snob about it. Josh, he's a snob.
He is. He's a snob about it because he's more of the Doobie Brothers fans with China Grove, right? Brothers, right? And really and truly, in my mind, and that's really what the derivation, what it boils down to for Mark Ellis, is that he thinks that Michael McDonald ruined Doobie Brothers.
Nope.
But really and truly, what Michael McDonald did was give Jeff Skunk Baxter an actual career
of sitting down and playing guitar.
And Michael McDonald made those Doobie Brothers songs because I didn't know that Michael McDonald, a lot of his hits are Doobie Brothers songs, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you've got like his Michael McDonald solo, but then, it's the classic Rick Moranis sketch in SCTV. But Michael McDonald.
Yeah. He's everywhere.
The best thing, and Ken, you and I talked about it, the best thing about this documentary is the fact that basically the members of Toto, Michael McDonald and Christopher Cross, played on like every album.
Yeah, people don't know that. People don't know that Human Nature was written by Toto.
And Toto's all over Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson song, but it's or Beat It being written by hold on, don't say it. Steve Lukather. So people don't know that solo was Eddie Van Halen, but the song was really Steve Lukather. It's just fascinating. The studio musicians of that era were unmatched, and people don't understand that. They were on everything.
When he talks about playing on like 5,000 albums,
God, less.
Now, Addie says, "I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what's happening right now. Let me be a better host here. And Scotty, I know you got a live show coming soon. Tell Jerry he can fucking wait. All right?
Yeah, he might have to.
No, you guys talk about how amazing Skeleton Crew is because that show is fucking awesome.
That show is amazing too.
Kind of yacht rocky, by the way. But we'll get that later.
Yeah. Long story short, yacht rock it does kind of explode in the mid 2000s, but it does take on a life when you're talking, Scotty, with a new generation discovered it. And a fool like Josh McCoog, a fool believes this guy has been championing yacht rock since I've met him. And it's kind of taken over. And I still think the celebration of it can be kind of viewed as if it's kind of a court jester thing. And the Yachtly crew, who Josh and I had in the afternoons and everything like this doc comes along on Max or HBO Max or Zavslav's back closet or whatever it's called now. It brings so much enlightenment and respect to the genre that I still think it is wonderfully silly in its own kind of way. Yeah. And the hairstyles and the captain's hats and all those things. And I don't want that to be taken away from him. But I came out of it with a newfound respect for something I thought I knew, but I didn't.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love that.
Really
I want to say, I'm sorry, Josh.
Sorry, Scotty. I will say this, and I didn't because I love Christopher Cross's music. But this documentary, okay, Christopher Cross is basically James Bond. Like,
he is.
Okay. This documentary turned him from like, you mean the guy that did Sailing to be like, Christopher Cross is awesome. He's awesome. He's so cool.
I can't, Scotty. I know you probably see some highlights, so I apologize but just there's just some. Christopher Cross is sitting there, modern day. You know, he's got the middle-aged pudge. He's got a little hat on. He's got the scruffy goatee, and he just casually drops. He's like, was it Run Like the Wind, Josh?
Ride Like the Wind, yeah.
Ride Like the Wind. Dude, he's like, I was high on acid when I wrote that.
He's like,
Sailing guy.
He's like, I was driving from Philadelphia to Newark, and I dropped a tab of acid, and I was like, oh, this is bum bum bum. And I was
dude,
like, what? Christopher Cross and Amanda was like hurt in the background. She's like, Did Christopher Cross just say he was on acid when he wrote Ride Like the Wind? I was like, yeah, he's the coolest man alive. He's the coolest ever.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. I was going to say the behind the music, which you brought up earlier, the Steely Dan one about Asia or Asia, whatever you ever say it. That is truly one of the best because they have that moment where they isolate the tracks of all of Michael McDonald going, just they like do like the mistake tracks where like, oh, he couldn't hit these high notes. And like Donald Fagen is such a, I want to master the Donald Fagen impression because it's so like, it's like, like everything just like he's kind of melting and then he's like,
he's just permanently upset. That's why I like him. He's permanently upset. The things that they give out, you don't understand. Oh, you're reeling in the years. Anyways, Josh, go ahead.
Well, I got to give old Handsaw. He said no love for Rupert Holmes. Rupert Holmes is not yacht rock. He can be crumped in with Jimmy Buffett. That's more like beach.
You think?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, have you gone to Yacht or Not?
Yeah,
Josh?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah, it's a website that So I'll give you my backstory. As Ken probably knows, is when I first got to LA, they were doing that Channel 101 thing. That was like a big deal. It was Dan Harmon's thing.
Dan Harmon.
You did a web series, and that's where Yacht Rock was born. It was like it became really popular on Channel 101. They'd done a couple. This was like, I'm pretty sure that Channel 101 started on like Yahoo Video.
Yeah,
and went to YouTube, right?
And you know who was an early editor on Channel 101? Dan Merle.
That makes sense.
That was his job before Screen Junkies.
So Dear Diary got into Channel 101 when one of the last Yacht Rocks was premiering. So I like went back and watched the Yacht Rock, and I'm like, Yacht Rock? You mean all of the rock that I listened to with my mom and my dad? Like that's Yacht Rock? And so I just accepted the term as it was, and then Spotify comes along, Pandora comes along, and then and they even talk about it. Is Sirius XM drops a Yacht Rock channel every summer, and now it's a permanent year-round channel. But really, what it was for me was that I always thought that Hall & Oates was Yacht Rock, but Hall & Oates is not considered Yacht Rock based upon Yacht or Not, but really based on that web series. Like Hall & Oates is not Yacht Rock. They're from Philadelphia. What Yacht Rock is, and the burgeoning, like the birth of it, is that it had to be basically recorded in LA by those session bands with Michael McDonald, with Christopher Cross, with like
there's a flow chart.
There's a whole chart of Yacht, and the bands that are outside of it are peripheral, but they didn't play in those sessions. They didn't play with those guitars. They didn't play with those riffs. They didn't play with that.
Okay,
that's one of the cool things that the doc teaches you.
Okay, so now here I've gone to yachtornot.com, and by the way, you have to spell not NYACHT. And two old hands who is a music historian himself, but they're on a scale of 1 to 100, they rate songs for their yachtness, their yachtski score. So I've got Rupert Holmes' Hymn, Rupert Holmes' Answering Machine, Escape, the Pina Colada Song, Studio Musician, and Lunch Hour. What do you think of those songs is the highest on the Yachtski score?
I would probably say Hymn.
Okay, Scotty?
I think Answering Machine. I like Answering Machine. That's a
You're very close.
It's the
Rupert Holmes' Hymn, 50.5. Answer Machine, 45.
Oh, that's really close.
The least of it is Lunch Hour, 14.875 on the Yachtski scale.
Okay, hold on. So Josh, I'm from Baton Rouge, and I go to New Orleans to see shows all the time. And there was a cover band, back in they don't play anymore. Back in like 2016, 2017, called Wear Yacht, and their playlist now is having me think twice about what would be considered yacht rock or not. But they were phenomenal. They were like an 8-piece band, 9-piece band, saxophone. Like they brought a xylophone one time. Like they did the whole thing, And so I'm gonna go through a few of these songs. Can I just get a yacht or not?
Shuffle. You need that.
Okay, that's on there. So thumbs up, thumbs down, yacht or not. Let me know. Here we go.
Okay.
The Things We Do for Love, 10cc.
Okay. This is Josh. I want you to judge. I'm looking up the score while we go along.
I'm gonna say no.
That's what I was thinking too. Okay.
Score 42 on the Yachtski.
Okay.
How Long by Ace. How long?
That's yacht rock.
That's gotta be yacht rock, man.
It's in the 55 percentile range. So that to me is
all right.
Yeah.
I mean, quite frankly, anything on this list should be considered it, but it's just the rating.
Correct.
Kokomo.
No, that's
Kokomo.
That's what I'm saying.
It's got a 5.75 score.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
Beach Boys is its own kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Nights on Broadway by the Bee Gees. They played it. I don't think it's yacht rock, but it's a banger to hear it live.
It's a good one. It's a good song. I'm not saying it's not a good, but it's not yacht.
It's not even doesn't even rank.
Lovely Day.
Oh yeah. What's his name? Yeah,
Bill Withers.
Yeah, Bill Withers. Thank you. Yeah.
59.25.
There you go.
Ride Captain Ride by Blues Image.
Ooh.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna say no.
It's a great song. On your
Well, wouldn't you count Lakeside's what the hell's the Lakeside song? The group's so funky. Hey, what do you think? What do we call? We call the Lakeside Shake.
Not on there.
What's the name of that song? Oh, Fantastic Voyage. Was that that?
No, that's George. That's Parliament Funkadelic.
Okay, that's what I would put it to. Okay, let's look at some more. Lido Shuffle, I would say, is definitely yacht rock.
That's 100% yacht rock. Anything Bob Skaggs is going to be yacht rock.
JoJo, Sailing, Ride with the Wind. Okay. Ooh, Couldn't Get It Right by the Climax Blues Band.
Yeah, 100% yacht rock.
Couldn't get it. Oh, that's 37.25. Again, it's on the scale.
Here's another one.
Okay.
Sexy Eyes. Dr. Hook. Sexy Eyes. Are we still speaking English?
It is on the scale, Josh.
Okay. All right.
52.5.
Wow. Okay.
Kiss You All Over. Exile.
Kiss You All Over. Exile. Oh, that's.
I don't think so. I'm not. It's
wow. It shows up. It's 21.75. I wouldn't. Look, Hall & Oates
There
Kissing
are
My
a lot
Lips
of
shows
Hall &
up at
Oates in there.
62.
I guarantee you.
But the doc does a good job explaining why it wouldn't be in the center of it there.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you both this one here. I want to ask you some more questions about the experience of being a yacht rock fan. What do you feel is the number one 100% perfect scored song?
Well, they say
Josh, you might go no, but Scotty maybe.
Yeah, because they say it in the documentary, so I know the answer to this question.
I would say Peg. I think Peg is peak. Peg is
definitely up there, but it's
changed my life because I heard Peg in high school, and I was in high school from 2010 to 2014, and I heard it early high school, and it like changed the way I thought about guitar, and I mean that genuinely.
I love it. It's so beautiful to hear you say. First of all, so before I reveal the answer, I have 27 votes on the poll tonight. Favorite yacht rock artists: Steely Dan, Toto, Christopher Cross, Kenny Loggins. Now I only got 4 choices on YouTube. I left some off, but one I couldn't put on there because he's probably the answer. And Scotty, that's the answer. It is Doobie Brothers. What a Fool Believes. The only 100 scored song.
Because that makes sense.
That song, as they say, is like everybody basically tried to copy the beat like that. From What a Fool Believes, namely one of Ken and my favorite yacht rockers, and that Ken, as we know, his greatest hits are.
What, you talking about Dave Mason?
No, talking about Robbie Dupree's "Steal Away."
They called Dupree out. They called Dupree out.
No, do they?
They stole the song. So Robbie Dupree's his greatest hits album is "Steal Away" in 5 different languages, a remix of "Steal Away," and then "Steal Away" twice. It's the same song. He just had no way. Steal Away.
Yeah. Oh my God! So okay, I have to ask you another one. This is it by Kenny Loggins because Kenny Loggins also studio.
That's the second ranked yacht rock song of all time.
Good deal.
Okay, it's right there at 98%. Yep.
Man.
This is it.
Okay. Reminiscing by Little River Band.
Yeah, that's yacht rock. 100.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, Scotty, you being a slightly younger than us, but and you discover this at this point in life, 2015 range. What does yacht rock mean to you?
Honestly, it's a good. So one thing that I've always felt strongly about relationships is if you're not compatible musically, at least in my relationships, it's not worth it. So my wife and I, when we met in 2015, we both loved Daft Punk. We both loved, bands like Fall Out Boy. And funny enough, I always liked this kind of music, any sort of soft rock music. And she also liked it too. And the fact that I could put this playlist on, even after being together for almost 10 years and shuffle it, shows something, right? So with all that being said, the appeal to me was obviously that me and my partner could listen to it together and enjoy it and love it together. But most importantly is that the music in its own way, even though it is kind of it's from the 70s or the 80s, there is a timeless nature to it. The themes are all timeless. The instrumentation is always crystal clear. That's one. They might talk about the documentary. The recording process of these songs are very precise. So I don't know. There's a quality to this that is unmatched in terms of what came during this time too, which would be hair metal, very early synthesizer pop music. I mean, all that stuff, and this somehow still found its way into the ears of your parents and of course me, 40 years later. It's an incredible thing. And like, I'll play some songs for my students. So I'm a middle school teacher, Josh, and I'll play songs like Kokomo, and I know it's not technically it, but like they'll know the words to it. Or you play a song like anything by Fleetwood Mac. They know Fleetwood Mac because that's that guy riding the skateboard. They know Hall & Oates. So like they don't know by osmosis that they're going to like these songs later too, which is kind of a beautiful thing. So I was exposed to it, on my dad's boat. I was exposed to it just by being around it and liking this kind of music. But to be able to be fully assimilated into it 10 years ago and now have it be a staple of my playlist on road trips and vacations. I mean, it's perfect. When I go on vacation, I have to listen to this playlist.
This is beautiful. Look, anytime you're in a car with Josh, I kind of know what it means to you. By the way, I think if there's ever an opportunity to get Scotty and Josh at the same dance floor, the world might spin off its axis. Hey, we might have a lot of fun together.
Take my hand.
Josh, I know what yacht rock means to you. I don't know what it means to Amanda all the time, but I do know what it means to you. But in closing, for this wonderful segment, take us home with you and this yacht rock moment and what it means to you.
It's I don't want to say vindication, Ken. Okay. But what it is to me is that this music has been the soundtrack of my life for a long time. Like, I mean, early music. I mean, some of my first tapes, cassette tapes I ever bought, Hall & Oates, Christopher Cross, Michael McDonald, Steely Dan, like these were, and then my dad, we were like one of the first families in the neighborhood that had a CD player because my dad worked in Japan. He worked for a Japanese company, and he came home with Japanese electronics all the time. And we had CDs, and those early CDs, some of the only CDs that you could get were Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins, the Top Gun soundtrack. Like Kenny Loggins, one of the few artists that like really kept. I mean, it is to me. It's sort of like, and this is crazy, but when the Sopranos series finale, when the Sopranos series finale happened and he plays Journey, Don't Stop Believin', that song starts and my brother goes, "Are you kidding me? They're playing your song." Because Journey's my favorite band of all time, right? and then all of a sudden it popped to the top of the charts on iTunes. And my brother's like, he's like, "Vindication, you've been swearing by Journey your whole life." And then yacht rock explodes, and he said the same thing. He's like, "You've been swearing by this yacht rock, even though before it wasn't even yacht rock. All these bands that you loved that I couldn't stand are now cool again."
Yeah.
And boom, here we are.
The thing is, the future's not dead. And I saw in the comments, Daft Punk is on the website. Fragments of Time. Ken, I'll never forget. I sent you an email when I was in LA one time because I was traveling through. I had picked up a car in Oregon and I was driving it through the entire West Coast. I messaged Ken to see if he was free at any point, but he was seeing John Williams that night. And I'm like, okay, I can't do that. I'm going to go back to my hotel and hang out with some friends. And I put on Fragments of Time, and I was by myself driving in LA. And I felt like I was living a yacht rock lifestyle. In that moment, it was peak, the palm trees, the wind blowing. Louisiana, we don't have that. We've got the bayou, baby.
You were living in 1978 all over again.
And if I hope you've heard that song, Ken. If you have not listened to Fragment of Time, or like Mac DeMarco, also one of those ones that is like kind of in that same feel, right?
Yeah,
so
and he's in the dock. All right, final messages here. Josh and I need your help, Scotty. Could you, before we go, and by the way, I want everyone to check out the Bombad cast. Scotty and Jerry have a unique and fun approach to Star Wars I love so much. And Josh, you have your TV talk with David Griffin going. Everyone should check that out on Josh's channel. But Scotty, could you do Josh and I a favor? Could you, in maybe 30 seconds or less, tell Mark Ellis, comedian extraordinaire, why he's missing out on Yacht Rock?
Mark, you're smarter than this. I've watched your stand-ups. I know what you have in your brain and I know it's beautiful. But if you want to enhance that beauty, if you want to have a better outlook on life, I believe with my whole heart that if you take the time and just listen to that Doobie Brothers album with the doobie on the open fold, you can see that giant doobie. I think it could change you. Maybe smoke a doobie. I don't know. Give it to yourself. Give you that moment, because in that moment you will find bliss and you will know what it means to have a full belief in you.
Boom.
That's beautiful.
Boom.
That's beautiful. That's all we need. Scotty, thank you so much for popping on and discussing something so important to you tonight.
Nice meeting you, Josh. Stay
You came
bombing,
from
everyone.
somewhere back in a long ago.
That's what we do. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Scotty. He's out. Josh, I don't want to keep you the whole night, but thank you for this, buddy. And I do feel you're living in a moment where there's some vindication going on that you deserve and maybe needed. And this yacht rock movement, this one's for you.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. It came out in a time in my life when I desperately needed it.
Absolutely. All right. I'll let you go, Josh.
You watching the Skeleton Crew? It's really good. It's really fun.
I absolutely love Skeleton Crew. We got our deep dive review up on Force Center. It's kind of what I needed in the last couple of years of Star Wars, the fandom being so rough and everything. This has been a wonderful show. It's not just for kids. It has kids in it, but I think we're all adults who look in see our reflection in a window and scream, "Grow up! You grow up!" I think this story's for all of us. I'm glad you like it. Dare I ask, has Rosie had a chance to take it in?
No, I think she's not ready for that. Maybe in a few years she might be ready for it. Okay. We're obsessed with the Benedict Cumberbatch Grinch right now, the animated Grinch.
Fair. That's fair.
3 years ago. She's still very much on the animated train. So, we just saw, if you want to cry yourself to sleep, watch Wild Robot, my friend. Watch Wild Robot.
I've been hearing about this. Yeah, I'm already crying myself to sleep, so I don't need any help. But I appreciate that. Thank you, Joshy.
Last question again. Is Adnan, the planet where the kids are from, is that Santa Clarita?
I think it's Burbank, but it's Santa Clarita and Burbank. It's the LA suburbs. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Well, I keep saying it's like Burbank. It's very pretty. It's safe. It's secure. It used to be a sundown town. It's got a dark history. We don't want to know.
Correct.
That's it. That's it.
Love you, pal.
I love you, Joshy. We'll see you, buddy. We'll see you. Bye. Josh McCouga, everybody. Josh McCouga. Go to his channel. He's got a lot of cool things going on there. And he's back in the fold, man. Back in the fold. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Just kind of basking in the joy of that yacht rock glory. Thank you all for hanging through the wildness there. And I should have suggested, Jen, I will. I'll text Josh. Rosie might like Forces of Destiny as designed. Jen Miro's there, everybody. Writers of Forces of Destiny. Ken Bloom's not wrong. Atten is totally Burbank. The rest of the galaxy is Glendale. We got top of the hour. We got some NFL picks coming. I'll be with you till about 6:15, 6:20 tonight. If you want to support the show, some of you were generous in doing so with super chats and everything tonight. If you want to hit a QR code or go to the Stream Elements, that would be helpful as well. But also, I just love having you all here. And I love when you're channel members or Patreon members and you call into the show. She has not understood anything about these last 25 minutes. So we got to figure out what's going on. Addie, welcome back to the show. You had a couple weeks off to see musical theater, but what don't you understand about yacht rock?
I have no idea what just happened.
Chaos. Controlled chaos.
I know all the words that the last 35 minutes were spoken were English. I imagine that this is what it's like when people come to my science classes who are not scientists.
Absolutely. When you say, I'm going to teach you some chemistry today, I just start singing the lyrics to Steely Dan songs in my head. That's how I get through.
Yeah, I almost couldn't vote in the poll because I don't know what's going on. I wound up voting for Toto because I am familiar with the song Africa. Because it is part of a Christmas song I was listening to earlier today.
That's fair.
The acapella group Straight No Chaser goes into Africa at the end of their 12 Days of Christmas medley.
Naturally, as it should be. Look, Toto, Hold the Line, great tune. Africa's they go into Africa in the doc and admit it's slightly weird, but the video, everything about it. But yeah, no, hey, the only thing you need to do, Addie, is just latch on to something you understand in the conversation, and we'll pull you forward. That's all we'll do. Okay, we'll get you there. We'll get you to the dance floor, singing some.
I guess I don't even know what yacht rock is. Although I will say, the timeline that was outlined, the 2015, 2016. I don't know anything that happened in 2015 and 2016. The world could have ended in 2015 and 2016, and I would have had no idea. I was writing my dissertation.
That's fair. You're doing important work. We're here to entertain you. We are your court jesters in the music world here. But that's fine. It's good. We're gonna get you someone out there. Maybe Scotty can share his yacht rock playlist with us here at the Blathering, and we all can dance along to yacht rock. And you too will find your favorite artist. I think. Addie, how you doing? What's on your mind tonight? You shared your vote in the poll, but questions, comments, concerns? You might be concerned for us.
I'm very concerned for you after
That's fair. That's fair.
The last half an hour, but that's beside the point.
Process it.
I'm also concerned for all of us.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I've missed you all the last couple weeks. I've caught up on the podcast because that's what I listen to on my commute.
Nice.
And it's been really sad though, because I've been listening and wanted to respond, and I'm like, this happened in the past. There is nothing to respond to.
There's no past. There's only now.
There's no comment section. There's no
unless you listen on
wants to
Spotify.
hear my opinions 2 years later.
Yeah, technically, Spotify has a comment section on the podcast thing. I think I've got one in 13 years. It's weird, but yeah, no, I appreciate that.
The question I've been thinking about, though, actually goes back to the episode from 2 weeks ago and is also tied in with I've really been enjoying the motivations on Instagram.
Thank you.
Tonight made me laugh out loud. I was sitting in my car after driving home, and the 35 calories order a pizza really got me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm living it. There's also a deleted take I might release to members only. I might just edit it up where my camera falls over, and I almost used that because it was more accurate. But I also almost damaged my phone.
Oh, that's not good.
Thank you. Those are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for those keeping score at home. And it's been interesting to see the different algorithms pick up and drop the videos and pick them up again. It's been a fun experiment. But anyways. What else is going on?
All of those things together. I've been thinking a lot about the episode from 2 weeks ago and how it ended, talking about where you want to go, what you want.
Yeah.
What is this life?
What do you want to happen? Right.
What do you want to happen? That was the question. And one of the things that I've been working on for a very long time, I have been writing a book series.
Okay.
For decades now. And I never seem to finish it. And I think it's in part because I spend a lot of time writing at my job. And so when I come home at night, I don't want to do more writing.
Right. Yep. Writing is like having homework for the rest of your life. Yep.
And I already have homework for the rest of my life. Teachers have homework. That's part of the job.
Part of the gig.
And so I was wondering if you could offer any real or hilarious motivation
for finishing
the damn project.
It's the hardest thing, and I'm not unique in this. And I've told the story before, but having a conversation once with Jeff Garland, I was taking him to his new office. He had just started renting from the farmers market, and we were talking about being a writer. And he goes, one day to avoid writing, I washed my wallet. I emptied it out. I cleaned it. It was like a leather wallet, and that's what I did to avoid writing. And I do kind of feel that's where I'm at. I know some people get up every day and write. Whether she loves it or not, I don't know if she's still here watching, but Jen Muro, not only a super talented writer, but one of the best writers in just terms of she gets it done. And I don't know if Jen would say, I fight with that too. I don't want to do it too. It's homework too. But I have always admired, we worked together for a while on a YouTube channel this year, and it would be like, all right, I'm going to go handle this. And then within 2 hours, it'd be done or on to the next level. And I would sit down to write and be like, oh, I totally need to go check all my Amazon orders for the last 7 years to see if I still want them. Like, you know, like I just, so if you can push past that, if you can push past whatever barriers in front of you and just know that you are doing something that's nearly impossible for most of us, which is to create and to share, whether it's something about your field of study, whether it's something completely, totally different. And that's a special kind of accomplishment. And what happens after you don't need to worry about it. The battle is finishing it. The battle is thinking you and knowing and actually finishing it. That's how I go with the writing. And then the worst thing is I am one of those special pull out of class gate kids from elementary school in the 80s where they were like, you are too smart for the rest of these dummies. Get out of here. I should have stayed with the dummies because number one, they weren't dumb. Two, they actually probably have more of a work ethic than I do, where I know I can turn a paper in 5 minutes before it's due and it's going to get a passing grade. That's something I struggle with too. So find your weaknesses and push past it.
Solid advice.
Okay.
You must have the same work ethic as my students, though.
Yeah. So you don't have that as a teacher?
I'm constantly telling them that due dates are not the date you have to do them on.
Yeah. See, I would. Yeah. And Jared says we call that ADHD. Yeah, maybe I'm a late diagnosed ADHDer, but the trouble is, and maybe again, Jared, when you call in, maybe we could clarify this. Like, I know I can get it done, and it is the worst feeling when I know if I have a script due tomorrow, I can start tomorrow and it'll be an A+. And that's the worst thing to happen to me.
I don't have that problem. I'm just at the point where I have to triage a lot of things and decide what has to get done first versus what can be put off until closer to its deadline. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So there you go. I want to see this book on our desk within what do you need, 6 months?
For the first one, yeah, sure.
Okay,
there's 6 in total.
Okay. Don't be a George R. R. Martin. Come on. Don't go to your favorite Mexican restaurant in Santa Fe and just not write your books. Come on. Get it done. And Duger13, another professor around these parts, saying, finish your monsters, which is the name of Joseph Scrimshaw's blog about his writing and creative process. And he actually just wrapped production on his first feature film, Dead Media. I think he announced last night. So we'll get an update when he returns to Force Center next week. But big accomplishment. Well, Addie, thank you for checking back in. Next week, I want you to prepare a syllabus on how I can appreciate musical theater more.
Can I make you a playlist?
Sure, I'll take a playlist.
Okay.
Can
the syllabus include a playlist? A playlist.
I'm a visual and audio learner, so yeah, let's do that. Make it popular. All right, Addie, thanks for calling in. We'll see you there. We got some other calls lined up here. I think Jared's going to come in here for a fight too. He's look at that threat. Oh, you'll try musicals. But I see. Oh, this is a DS9 conversation. I got it. That's fair. All right, let's bring Jared in right to the show right now so he can defend himself. Jared, how are you doing, my friend? What shirt are you wearing?
Hey, Ken, it's Devin. I think you brought me in.
Oh, I brought Evan in accidentally. I clicked. Okay, guess what?
You can go to Jared.
Okay. Evan's major problems calling in. I did. I clicked on the wrong button. But Jared, what shirt are you wearing?
Oh, Ken. Yep. Once again, trying to call me out from my shoulders.
You got sexy shoulders, man.
You know, it's the imperial tattoo. What can I say?
How we doing?
Not too bad, Ken. Another day of waking up breathing. So we'll take that as a win.
We all got to take that win. Before I let you talk, I need to know your yacht rock answer?
I kind of was in the same boat as Addy, where I know the music, I enjoy it good enough. I
Yeah.
never heard the term yacht rock until earlier this year on
Right.
one of your other live casts when you brought up the Yachtly Crew. I was just like, what?
Yeah.
I
What
thought
is
we just
going
called.
on?
I thought that was just soft rock on B101.
I mean, not wrong. Not wrong.
But I knew all the names, but the only one that I could associate with the song was Toto, so that was
Yes.
my choice.
Hey, that's a great look. It's not if it's all you know, that's all you need to know. Is what I say about yacht rock. But love
But
that
I will
answer.
say this.
Yeah.
That I will agree to with what the point. I think it was Scotty that made it. That studio musicians need to get more love. 'Cause,
Absolutely.
you know, you name an album you love, I guarantee there was somebody who stepped in on a day to do the favorite part you got.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they talk in the doc about the yacht rock, what eventually would be the heart of yacht rock session musicians. We're just carrying on the legacy of the Wrecking Crew and all that kind of stuff from earlier in the decade in the 60s. So yeah, absolutely. I know some acquaintances, I'll call them, that are session musicians in town here, and they do wonderful work with so many artists and get so many wonderful opportunities.
Oh yeah, they're incredible. I feel like it's just the nature of the job too. You have to be able to jump in on anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're just I don't know why this name came to me, but Billy Joe of Green Day,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're going in for your Green Day power chords all day, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
working in LA, it's like, hey, we've got a jazz trio this month and a reggae group the next month.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Checking on the poll, it's very close, 30 votes. Steely Dan, 30%. Toto, 30%. Christopher Cross, 13, which I'm surprised. Kenny Loggins, 27, but I'm not surprised at that. Again, Michael McDonald would probably win hands down. Svetnik says, didn't members of Toto play on Thriller? Yeah, they cover that in the doc. Quincy Jones, like, get me Toto. And we're going to make this Michael Jackson record. Love that there. But Jared, anything specific on your mind? Questions, comments, concerns? Where are we at today? Where are we at this week, other than breathing?
Oh, you still there?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Hey,
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. We're back. we're fine. We're fine. How are you?
We're good. But I was asking what's on your mind? What's your question?
So,
other than breathing, where are you?
Oh, so you know me. I always like to come in with the fun's what is for you. So tonight we're gonna stick with your favorite band of the Beatles.
Okay.
So you can go to one of their legendary shows. It's either the oh my God, why am I blanking on the gentleman's name? The Carson show, or was it who? Oh my God,
Ed Sullivan. Ed Sullivan.
Sullivan. That's wow, brain
Okay.
fart. But you can either be at the Ed Sullivan show or their last show on the rooftop of that building that I forget the name of.
Oh, hands down, I'm going to the roof. Thanks, Mo. I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the group and ourselves, and I hope we pass the audition. I want to be up on the roof. Absolutely. First of all, I think the Sullivan thing would be amazing. But, you know, you hear nothing but screams, I think. Same with some of their concerts or anything like that. I think the rooftop, plus it's them, obviously towards the end, but it's them with some scars. It's them with some blisters on their fingers, quite literally and figuratively. And I think it would be fascinating to watch just those four play together in that kind of capacity.
Was that their last live show, actually, now that I'm thinking about it?
In terms of the Beatles, yeah.
That was it.
We'd come close. We'd come close, and then there's even the concert for Bangladesh and Plastic Ono Band stuff, and occasionally over the years, and then I think it was Ringo's wedding to maybe what's her name, Barbara Bach. I think there was a little bit of a mini reunion, but never. I think never all four at the same time again. Sadly. So that's my answer. It's a good, and I'd love to see the history of the early days, but man, being cold.
I mean, I can't blame you. That did look like a good experience to be at, because and I feel like you ask it's probably one of those shows where you ask anybody who lived in the area at that time. Oh, I was there.
Yeah.
Sure, Uncle.
Yeah.
Sure, Uncle Bob.
Yep. No, there's that. I have. One of my uncles one time claimed that he was at Dodger Stadium when Willie Stargell of the Pirates hit a baseball out of the stadium, and it's happened a few times. But that was one of the more famous ones. And I told that to like another person, and they were like, "Ken, everyone's been there for that game." It was the first time in my life I learned, like, what? people can lie or claim things. So yeah, we all were there. We all were there. Yeah. So a lot of people talking in chat. Yeah, Andy's correct. Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, did play. He sang in Toto, but a little bit later, which has always been kind of confusing because I think history claims Joseph Williams as a singer or the singer in Toto, but it's not completely correct. So he's not even featured in the doc. Joseph Williams also not featured in the doc about John Williams, which I thought was interesting as well. Only his daughter spoke. Jared, thanks for calling in. Hang in there, buddy. Hey, I know don't know details of anything going on in your life. No one needs to know the details going on in my life, but it's been. God, it's just been a tough year, been a tough week, tough couple days, just personally outside of the world for me. And no matter what you're going through, man, I'm glad you're part of this community. You're needed here, and we'll all find a way forward. I don't know how, I don't know what, but we're here together. We're going to blather together, okay?
I appreciate it, man. Love you guys. You be safe, Ken. You have a good show tonight.
You got it, Jared. Thank you. Football picks at the top of the hour. Plume says this. I can't get over how much Jared sounds like Jim Gaffigan. I have to study that. But it's good. That's a good comparison. Good comparison. Yeah, and Laserbolt's not wrong. Also, this time Joseph Williams has been in the band way longer than the original guy, and that's true too. Brian Tiller's answer: Rooftop would be interesting because the songs are new, like seeing a show of songs you've never heard. That'd be great as well. Like I said, football picks at the top of the hour. I got to get my sheet out here. I think okay. I think it was a real bad week for me. I don't know if this was the list. Steve's going to let me know. I think my hubris hit. But before we get to that, I brought him on the show accidentally, but major problems. A.K.A. Evan is here. And Evan, thank you for being so kind and letting Jared have his moment in the sun. How are you?
I'm good. So nice. You had me on twice, Ken.
Hey, we love having you around. You put out the fires in our soul, okay? Wait, you start fires in our soul?
I hope I start some fires.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right, first of all, whether you like or even know what yacht rock is, what was your answer in that poll?
I went Christopher Cross. I'm in the vast minority.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I'm a little shocked by that.
I'm a little, look, up against Steely Dan, because Steely Dan kind of think can bring in prog rock fans even more than yacht rock fans. Toto, it's a crowd pleaser. Rosanna, Hold the Line. Kenny Loggins. I mean, come on, we're all on a highway to the danger zone. But Christopher Cross, I guess I get it. I think even having watched the doc, Christopher Cross would say, yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, that's fair, Ken. The way I look at it, respect to those other three, I don't know if you could squarely put them, if they're the round peg for the round hole for just yacht rock.
Right. That's fair. Yeah. Oh, and definitely Kenny Loggins moves on to almost bigger and better things, becoming the soundtrack guy in the 80s.
For sure. For sure.
Absolutely.
So I'll defend Christopher Cross in his Oilers jersey.
Yes, that's right. The old Earl Campbell Oilers jersey for a music video. But what's on your mind tonight? Questions, comments, concerns?
Let's flip over to baseball.
Love it.
Real quick. I read online that Juan Soto is going to give the Yankees a chance to match any final offer. So how does that make you feel? Confident?
It makes me feel confident. I really do like Juan Soto. Been following him since the World Series 2019, and he rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and I think that's perfect for the Yankees. But he also has a spirit that I like. The problem I've had as I got back into baseball with a little more detail, a little more attention paid over the last couple of years, these Yankees don't have as much fire as I'd like. They're not the 96 or 98 Yankees. They're more the 2005 Yankees, which is why I think it's hard for them to win. And I think the World Series showed that. Love Aaron Judge. His performance wasn't great in the World Series, but any postseason overall. But that can come or go. But I sensed a lack of not fire. They all want to win. They're professionals, but there was just not an edge. And Giancarlo Stanton, love him. The guy can run like a drunk elephant, pretty much. But the fire, I didn't see it as much. And I hate to sit on a couch and point at an athlete and say you lack the fire. That's really not fair. Why I don't like sports talk radio. But as a longtime fan, it just felt different. And I think Juan Soto has that fire. So I'd like to have him back.
Definitely. And again, same thing as you, man on couch, talking about professional athlete, but I felt that's kind of why they brought Jazz Chisholm in, and he really wasn't the spark that I thought or they thought he was going to be.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
I like Jazz, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
So
we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm hoping Will McClain. Tell you what. I'm hoping Will McClain is wrong, but I also hope he's right. Watch Soto go to the Dodgers on a 99% deferred money deal. I don't think for those that don't follow sports, the Dodgers are doing something interesting that's mostly the Ohtani thing, where they're giving these players, obscene amount of money, but hey, it's the market. What are you going to do? I can't hit a baseball that far, so I'm not going to get that contract. But Ohtani deferred all of his nearly $1 billion deal, and the Dodgers are looking at, because of that, they're able to squeeze in so many players. And I don't know if Blake Snell did that as well. I didn't follow it that far. But because of that, so Soto could get a deal where he gets $2 million a year. Ooh, scrimps and saves, has to live off that, and then he gets $750 million after he retires. And I don't know if baseball should do anything about it. I don't know if they can, but I kind of want them to. I don't know. Evan, as a baseball fan, what do you feel about that kind of maneuvering around the salaries?
Well, when it comes to that deferred money, and this pertains to Ohtani, can you place a bet with that money? That's what I want to know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And a lot of criticism of it being that you're just literally passing the buck to probably a new ownership group. So it's kind of this weird thing. But,
I just my person, I think it stinks to me from all the way from over here in New Jersey. I think that deal stinks.
It's sad.
It's got Bobby Bonilla written all over it.
It does have Bobby Bonilla, who still is getting more money than any of us tonight for not play baseball years after he retired. One of the all-time great deals. All right, Will McClain has the answer here. Snell got $66 million deferred of $182 million. So even there. Yeah, there you go. All right, Evan, I appreciate you calling in. Any other final thoughts before I get to football picks?
No, Ken, go have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Evan. Major problems in chat is what we call them as well. Marjo saying Dodgers are playing the Big Short on baseball. Yeah, kind of is. And look, it's what are you going to do? 31 votes in. Steely Dan, Toto, Christopher Cross, Kenny Loggins. What is your favorite of those four artists? I said your favorite yacht rock artist. Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald. Other choices left off the table there. But Steely Dan now in the lead. 32%, Toto 29%. Christopher Cross still at 13%. Kenny Loggins 26%, 31 votes. So if you're just popping in, welcome to the show tonight. This is the Blathering Live. We do this at least once a week, perhaps more, maybe after we get out of the holidays, and we have fun hanging out. But one of the things we do at the top of the hour is we bring in Steve. Steve's in. He's got some banter for me, but then we're going to get to some NFL picks, which might be a challenge this week. But Steve, how are you?
Hey, Ken, thank you so much. How are you doing? Appreciate it.
I'm great, my friend. I'm great. Hanging in there. Well, great is a lie, but I'm hanging in there.
I was going to say, yeah, you're totally lying based on how you have talked last hour, but that was a good radio answer. I appreciate it.
Yeah, great.
That's okay.
We're here.
It's okay to not be okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just remember that. It's okay to not be okay.
I like that.
1% every day.
What's your answer, man? What's your answer?
So my answer to the poll was I went Steely Dan. And I know this isn't necessarily one of the Yacht Rock songs, but this is just one of my Steely Dan takes. Reelin' in the Year. Yeah, that's the name of the song, right? Reelin' in the Year. Mm-hmm. That's in the Hall of Fame for best first 10 seconds to a song.
Yeah. It's a great song. I love it. And they show a clip of it on it. Because I'm not a huge Steely Dan fan because I think the yacht rock angle is surprising. Donald Fagen would disagree with that sentiment, of course. But I do see the more. I don't know if prog rock is right, but I just view that I'm not one of those music as a math problem kind of guys, and they kind of seem to be on that side of things. But Reelin' in the Years, man, that's a tune. That's a tune. All right, so the picks are important, and we'll get to them here in a second if you're ready, Steve. But Laserbolt says, I'm missing my Lions games for this. Make these picks count. Oh, boy.
Lions are doing okay so far. No Lions pick tonight, though, since it already started. But I do have a few more things before we get to picks. Uh-oh.
What?
I just had a little drop in internet connection there. Yeah, let me get to my other two
Yeah.
topics here. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I lost my wallet last weekend,
Lost your wallet.
and it's not the worst thing ever. While it's super inconvenient, like I have to get new ID, new cards. Like the worst thing is like the pictures I had in there. Luckily, no cash, because I'm one of those millennials that don't carry cash.
Don't care. No walking around money. Okay.
No, I got lucky there. So there wasn't any issues there. Of course, like the pictures that are in there, that's the only thing I really lost, because everything else is fairly easily replaceable.
Yeah.
But I've been getting blown up in my email this week for all of the subscriptions that I have, because it's the beginning of the month, right? So everyone is trying to charge me for everything I'm subscribed to. Easiest way to get rid of all those dumb subscriptions you like forget getting like Rocket Money or any of those dumb apps that want to pay for to like tell you what you're subscribed to. No, just like lose your wallet once every few years and then get a new credit and debit card, and then it'll all just come running for payment, and then you just sign back up for the ones you actually want to keep.
This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. I think this is great advice. I think this is a commercial we need to do. This is wonderful. I think you've hit upon something there. Because I hit
Rocket Money.
I hit it too, because it's fascinating too, because I have some things that hit in the middle of the month, and I have them on, I move them around to different credit cards or something. And things like my website is too expensive. I don't know why I have my website going, other than it's a calling card that I need. I'm actually applying for some work tonight that I need to lengthen my website, so it's a cost thing. But man, they so want you to have your business that they're not even threatening me once it fails a couple times. They're like begging me, hey, could you please fix this? Could you please fix? We really want to take your money. We don't want to lose you. And I just wait. I don't even worry about it. And my website stays active for another month, and then they charge me later.
Discord has emailed me more than anybody, like more than my bank, more than like car things. Like Discord has sent me an email every day, like, hey, your Nitro thing is lapsing.
Hey, do you want Nitro? Do you want to have emojis that no one else has? Love it. Well, Stephen, one more thing. And
I don't want to start any existential crisis, considering everything that's going on. But just so keep this light. Think about this on the light side of it. But things that you've gotten worse at as you've aged, because I noticed one of them tonight, and I just wanted to see if there was any that we could keep light on. Cracking eggs. I've gotten horrible at cracking eggs. I used to be able to crack an egg and have like zero shell. It would be a beautiful egg. You could go right at it. I cracked eggs tonight to make something, and there was shell in every single one, and I was just looking at my hands like, what happened? I was like Doctor Strange, like trying to like do surgery.
I love that you said this. This is fantastic. I've got to think of this. But I
got
had
one
this,
more.
Okay, but with the egg thing, I went on a weird egg kick last month. One, it was kind of cheaper. I thought, let me just get some eggs, and I'll have 2 scrambled eggs every day, and a cheap, breakfast, get me full. And I won't say that I had problems with every egg, but there was a couple times I cracked it. The shell was in the yolk, and I couldn't get it out because it was like a physics problem. And as Addie will tell you, I'm a dumb dodo head. And every time I stuck my finger in to get the shell, it just bloop, the whole thing just went. It was like I was being defeated by physics, and I couldn't get the shell out. It was quite. I should have taped it, and it would have just been studied for science.
Yeah, I can't like get that one back. I even Googled, like, am I doing something wrong? Is there a technique I need to know? Like, is there a Gordon Ramsay 30-second video on YouTube of cracking an egg? But no luck. But the other one was, I'm totally backup cam dependent now. I tried to back up a car not too long ago that didn't have a backup camera, and I thought I was going to hit everything that was behind me.
That's okay. Yeah, I finally got a car last year that had a camera. I was, driving a 2002 Mustang for a while, so the backup camera was quite frankly nothing, because the Mustang you couldn't even see out the backup. And I'm mixed. I'm mixed where I need it now, but I don't trust it because I feel I zero in on it, and I don't like. There's this poor lady. I've almost hit her and her dogs twice backing out of my driveway at dusk. She's walking her little puff dogs. And she knows it. She's like, she shot me a dirty look after the second time because I'm focusing on my camera, and then I look up at the last minute, and she's like there doing the like, whoa. So I don't know. It's a bad thing. You got to keep your eyes. You got to keep your eyes on your car.
Yeah, not a good thing. Not a good crutch to learn. But yeah, those are my my 2 things that I've learned. I've just sucked at as I've gotten older.
My thing my actual answer, I have noticed this, and I'm worried. Maybe the COVID vaccines did this, and maybe everyone's right. I can't grab things as easy it's almost as if my depth perception is changing, and I drop things easier. And Mark Ellis said this too to me. We were having a conversation when I at the Comedy Store. He said this too. He's dropping things a lot more. And we were joking, like, I guess the vaccine's got us. But like if I reach for something, like I have this glass up here, often I'm like, hey, and I just knock things over. And it's just getting worse and worse.
Maybe you gotta get your eyes checked.
I mean, maybe that's it.
Maybe that's it.
Or maybe I just got to slow the bleep down and grip.
We all need to slow the bleep down. Just in general.
We do. But with that, we are going to go to NFL picks. This week, I am afraid, Steve, because I think I have what I wrote down here. I don't think it's good.
So a little bit of a back to earth week is what we'll call it. How about that?
Yeah, that's fair.
So you're 2-3, so it could be way worse.
2-3.
But it wasn't a winning money kind of week. You are now 35-25 on the season.
But that's still good. It's still impressive.
That's great. Yeah, you're 10 games over 500, and it's week 14. That's amazing. You know how many talking heads on ESPN would love to be 35-25? Are you kidding?
Absolutely. I'm thinking of if I'm looking to pick up some part-time work here. I think I'm just going to apply to like FanDuel and just use my knowledge to help others.
Yeah, just be a bookie somewhere on a weird streak.
You want to place some bets here? What do you got? All right. So what happened last week? Who did I? There was a game that I picked the winner right, but the points were off, right?
Yeah, those damn Vikings. So
right,
Minnesota was a 3.5 point favorite, and they won by 3 points.
Yeah, that was the one. And then, look, I put a lot of hope. I tried to manifest that Thanksgiving Day win for the Dolphins, and I knew the moment Washington muffed that punt, I knew we were done. And I like what the Dolphins did in the second half of the game. I didn't think they completely rolled over, but it just was more of the same for the Dolphins on Thanksgiving Day.
Tua's got to win one in the cold to shake that whole narrative.
He does. But we got 5 picks for this week. The Lions game is going at the time of this recording, so we're not touching Thursday Night Football. But what do we got, Steve?
All right, so pick number 1 is Atlanta at aforementioned Minnesota Vikings. I think I used aforementioned correctly there, maybe not. Minnesota is a 5.5 point favorite at home.
Ooh, at home, still like the Vikings. Falcons, did they let me down last week?
The Falcons are, yes, because you picked them and the Chargers beat them.
That's right. And I needed that Charger team to lose. Well, because of that, you hurt me. You strike me down. I'm going to go against you. I'm taking Vikings. I think it'll be by 6 points or higher. I think it's not going to be a point thing. So Vikings, I'm taking Vikings at home.
Taking the Vikings at home. All right, here we go. Game number 2. This is an interesting one. I was debating actually giving you this, but I think it's fun. Chicago at San Francisco. Chicago is on that fired coach high. There's, historically you fire your coach, the team goes out and plays really hard the next week, and San Francisco is sending out an absolute mash unit on pretty much both sides of the ball. So
I think you're giving me all the analysis I need. I need the Niners play the Dolphins here in a bit, I think. So I need them to kind of fall off even more. Not never rooting for people to get hurt, of course. But yeah, I agree with you. I watched the end of that Bears-Lions game. I watched with my jaw on the floor like a lot of other people. And you saw a coach get fired in real time in his mind when they cut to him, and he had that like, well, I guess it's time to move. So I'm going the Bears to rebound in San Francisco.
Bears to rebound in San Francisco. They are getting 3.5 points for you. Okay. Game number 3. This should be a fun one. Buffalo at the LA Rams. The Rams are a 3.5 point underdog at home.
Bills. It's not even close. Not even close. Rams, give or take them right now. Dolphins kind of came in there and had fun with them too, but. I hate to say it, but the Bills got that look. You know that look, Steve? You've watched sports long enough to know. You just look at the team and you're like, yeah, this might be it. This might be their year.
As an Eagles fan, I'm glad we're in the NFC. Buffalo looks scary. Buffalo has the look for sure.
And Josh Allen. Yeah, Josh Allen got engaged. He's riding high. He's making snow angels, and I don't think it's going to stop.
All right, taking the Bills on the road. All right, game number 4 is the LA Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 3.5 point favorite at home.
Look, as much as I actually would like Kansas City to, Yeah, no, I'd like Kansas City to win. I need the Chargers to fall. I need to muddle up that AFC if the Dolphins have any thoughts. So this is a manifest game. I have some people that ask me, Ken, 35-25, how do you do it? Why? What's the secret? I go with my gut, and I try to manifest things for one team, the Miami Dolphins. Kansas City does have some weaknesses. They're not as strong, but they're still Kansas City. It's still Andy Reid. Oh, and he still likes talking about little crumpets and chicken tenders and all those things. He's great in those commercials. I'm going Kansas City, big over Chargers.
Over the Chargers. All right, taking Kansas City over the Chargers. And game number 5, as always, is your Miami Dolphins. The New York Jets are heading to Miami. Miami is at home and a 5.5 point favorite.
We need this. This is it. No more losses. We had one loss to give, I think, for a realistic shot, and that was the Packer game. Which again, I've been a Dolphin fan since the '80s, back into it last couple of years. But even despite all the turnover in the franchise, all the different coaches, you just kind of know your team. You get the vibes. The moment that punt was muffed in the first quarter, I knew where we're at. But unlike previous games, like that Tennessee Monday night game last year where they were kind of already pre-celebrating and they lost in the fourth quarter in a kind of a crazy fashion. They didn't have that in the second half. Believe me, they didn't. They played good. They got their asses kicked mentally. And this is it. This might be McDaniel's career here in Miami. This might be a lot of people's last chance to prove that they can still do this year. And the other side of it is Aaron Rodgers and whatever's going on over there. Dolphins big over the Jets.
All right, taking the Dolphins.
There we go.
All right, so to recap your picks. Atlanta at Minnesota. You're taking Minnesota. We are taking Chicago at San Francisco. Buffalo, you're taking at the Rams. You're taking Kansas City over the Chargers and Miami over the Jets. Those are your Week 14 picks.
Week 14, there it is. NFL picks are in. Thanks, Steve. Thank you so much, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we'll do it again. I am almost out of here, but I do have some things to talk about, some adverts, as I like to do. I really love doing this, whether or not you all click and engage. That's cool, but I like highlighting cool things that other people I know do. We've been talking about the Art of DuckTales book by our buddy Ken Plume. The deluxe edition is out there. Get that. Mourner, this is the latest song, Truth, but more music on the way from my buddy Matty Gunner and his band. My friend Aaron Alexovich has Shock City. This is a graphic novel you want to check out by one of the forces behind Invader Zim. And there is a Indiegogo going right now for my buddy Robert Butler III. I was on his live stream last Friday highlighting this. He's got a series that he's trying to put together with the help of all of us through this Indiegogo project called Urban Luxury. Go to that link. Just type it in, pause this video later on and write it, or just go to Robert Butler III social media and you'll get a link. 6 luxury stories, 1 urban truth. It is pretty fantastic what he's cooking up there. He's got a great promo. He's one of the smartest cats I've ever known and worked with, and I want you all to consider supporting, if you want to, Robert Butler III and his project, Urban Luxury. So in closing, I think that's about it, man. I'm going to head on out of here. I got some things to do, some dinner to have, and maybe even some football to watch. I'm going to go see what those Detroit Lions are doing. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here on the YouTube channel so you don't miss things like the special pop-up vertical lives or the motivational shorts, but you can get those on Instagram and TikTok as well. Whatever you prefer works for me. Consider supporting me at Patreon at patreon.com/Ken and get to call into the show, become a channel member here. Get my show, video version of a Monday show that drops every Monday morning. And that's about it. I'm rolling. I'm out of here. We'll see you. You guys are the best. Let's do it again. Bye-bye.